from there and took loads of advice like I still do today, and from 20 years later I'm still fly fishing. Competition fishing was very important to me at one stage in my life, not so much now. I tend to do it for recreational means, but in the days of probably 10 to 15 years of fly fishing, primarily in competition, I achieved 2 masters in England, probably with about 65 competitions under my belt and trophies now. And also I fished 1 competition in Western Australia, which I got a silver and a bronze for, and just to see if I could still have it, because competition is very hard. But since fishing in the big pond, saltwater fly fishing is just going from leaps and bounds at the moment, as you know yourself. But out there in the big pond with the fly rod, it's just immense to get literally anything you can on fly, and literally that has been proved over the years in saltwater fly fishing over here. But knowing myself that whatever's out there, if he takes a bait or a lure, he's probably going to take a fly as well. But I must say now I'm leaning more towards the saltwater side than the trout side. There's some fantastic fly fishing in Western Australia, there really is. A lot of people think that there isn't, but down south, Manjimup area, some beautiful trout now. People are starting to sort of take that on board. But really, if I must be honest with you, Cleggy, the big pond's for me now. I've made Australia my home, and I will continue to provide a service, which I hope I can do, and taking everything what it's got to throw at me, because I'll certainly take it in both hands and hold it close to my heart, and this is the place for me. Well, here we are, another great day's fishing. A lot of excitement in the body as you walk down to the water and think, wow, what am I going to get? But just take your time, nice and gently on the bank. Have a good look round, that's the main thing. There might be fish rising just by your feet, so just stop, compose yourself, have a quick look just to see where you're going to fish. And don't forget, keep your rods pointing backwards, and well, it's going to be a fantastic day's fishing today. Now that sun's just about to come up, so I reckon that we're in for some good fish now. They'll probably start rising as soon as that sun just touches the water, because then they'll really start to see. And then as the morning goes on, they start going a bit deeper and deeper and deeper. But we had a low pressure yesterday, and we've got a high pressure that's now, so I reckon we're in for some good fishing. Now what we're doing here is we're just skipping the fly across the surface, checking it, see if there's any fish following it, and nice punchy cast forward, keep watching, and we're into it again. Now as with any trout lake, have a good look for a good vantage point. The top of this log's fantastic, I can see everything that's going on, and keep my back nice and high. Now I've seen this fish just cruising, so I put a fly right on his head, and now I'm on. Now I think it's a brown because it's fighting really well. Now on this log I can see everything that's going on now, so just take your time. But you've also got to look for an exit off that log as well. So just keep playing it, nice and easy. Now keep that tension on the rod. We've got to get off this log, and I think that's about the best way I can get off it, just like that. Yep, okay, now we can get back into the fish. Now I thought this was a brown, but it's actually a big rainbow. Can't believe it. Beautiful fish, just gently onto the bank. Now if you had a net it'd be a lot easier, but that's fine, just like that. Now we've got this beautiful conditioned rainbow, female fish without a doubt. telltale signs, the belly, she's very loose now. She'll be releasing eggs in about 2 weeks time, and you can also tell that by the back end as well. And she's not quite ready, she's loose on one side and on the other. So if you get a female fish like that, treat her with a bit of respect. Caught on a Mrs. Simpson in Manjimup. What a beauty. There you go, she does one big clear of her gills. She'll be fine in a second. See, if I was to let this fish go now, see, a lot of people think you can just throw them in. If I was to let this fish go now, watch what happens. That's one dead fish, if you let it go like that. So just gently calm her down, because they're a sport fish, so they do get a bit stressed, you know. And she'll regain in a second. She'll get her balance back. Beautiful. Now that's fly fishing. Now that rainbow we just had there, because this is such a pristine environment, she was so well that I actually thought that was a brown. The way she was fighting, she was burying her head, going right down, which is a characteristic of a brown. Usually the rainbows, they perform a bit, but the browns, they're usually a hard fighter. So just remember, everything's not what you see. Now I'm cross casting now, as I say, because the cover at the back here, okay, and I'm working these edges because this is where the fish are going to be. It's like being in a sauna with all this steam.
Yellowfin tuna are one of the world's great sport fish. Most northern areas of WA have at least a small population of yellowfin. The average fish in our north may only be 10 kilos, but surprisingly, fish in the 30 to 50 kilo range are more common in Perth than smaller ones. As a rule, you need to start early as you head for Rottnest Island off Perth looking for pods of dolphins.
Oh, look at this! This is what fishing's all about, sharing the ocean with some of the most magnificent creatures on the earth. Have a look at these dolphins. They just come up and started playing with our boat.